Sheldon, tell us all about your new production.
It started as a 7-minute monologue at Grant McEwen's Theatre Arts program, and it went on to go, after I graduated, we turned into a full-length piece to take it to, it would have been Next Fest, so like an emerging artist festival. And then right after that, we were launched into the Edmonton Fringe, where we sold out every show and won a couple awards, and then started touring it all over the country, New Zealand. And then it, for a while, became more of a motivational speaking tool. And I took it to a lot of reserves and settlements and schools. And it sort of kind of took a back seat to my life. And then all of a sudden, we've kind of an opportunity to kind of revive it and refresh it and add some new writing and some new design. And it's an autobiographical one-man show, all about, mostly revolving around the death of my father, who was an abusive alcoholic. A lot about my stand-up comedy. So the show kind of starts with these really intense, racially charged jokes, which, as you know, as an 18-year-old guy, it's weird to think, I'm going like, all right, I was 18 when I wrote that. Wow. Which is no wonder it wasn't that great.
A couple little tweaks here and there along the way.
Yeah, and it's just like kind of seeing kind of the, so you sort of get to see the Sheldon, the young comedian, evolve, as well as Sheldon, the man and the artist, and kind of coming to terms with taking responsibility for yourself and the power of your own words.
Was humor a big part of your life growing up?
Yeah, I was a class clown, and, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I'd always thought I wanted to be an elementary teacher. I started in education. I dropped out of my second year. I had been doing stand-up at the beginning of college. This teacher got me a job doing stand-up in Grand Prairie at a pool hall. And so I started there, and it was, it was rough. I didn't know what I was doing, and I had no one really to teach me, so it was just a lot of learning by trial and fire. So.
When you bring Metis Mutt out, it digs way in your past about your dad and life growing up. That must be a hard thing to do on stage.
Yeah, it can be. I have a really good team that's kind of recognizes when I've kind of hit my limit, when I start to feel a little too much emotion, when I can't tell the story properly and can't do my job. I think what's important is that if we can tell the truth as honestly as we can, I think what happens is that, it helps others feel like it's their own story, right. Whether they're native, whether they're white, whether they're male or female. It's like, I think that's the key, right? And so I've been very lucky to have a good team that kind of recognizes that. They go, he might need a break. He's about to cry any moment.
We're big fans of Delman, Marta. I mean, you and Howie did an amazing job on that show. Tell us about the transition, and because you love to perform live in front of people.
I do love to perform live. It's interesting, that kind of development of Delmer and Marta is to also think about where they came from, because they were cultural stereotypes. Right. And so just kind of seeing the involvement of them, and I think like how Howie and I and the whole Caution May Contain Nuts team at Mosaic Entertainment has changed. I think that's kind of what I've been talking about in Metis Mutt, where you have to eventually adapt and start taking responsibility for some of the stuff you're saying. And sometimes it's, as a comedian, it's easy to go for the low-hanging fruit. And I think that if you don't talk about things like cultural stereotypes, I think if you don't, we can't ever really explore why they exist or why they're a thing. And because they're often funny because they're true, but then sometimes they're sad because they're true. So I kind of think Delmer and Marta sort of started from that place. And, so we're going to get a chance here, I guess it's in late May, to kind of do a live show again with Caution May Contain Nuts.
Oh, cool.
In a town there's a contest that's happening with Mosaic Entertainment. And some lucky town is going to let us roll in and take over their theater for a night and do a live-streamed Caution May Contain Nuts sketch show.
Comedian Sheldon Elter joining CFWE this morning. Sheldon, what are people saying about Metis Mutt?
Well, the reviews have been good, so that's nice. I think a lot of people ask the same question about what you were saying, is that it's, how do you do this every night? Yeah. And I'm like, and it's tough. And so I look at it like going like Sheldon, the 9-year-old, Sheldon, the young comedian, Sheldon, the addict.
Right.
All right. So I kind of have to look at it that way. Otherwise, I kind of get lost in my own stuff when especially if you're rehearsing and you're repeating like a family violence scene where my father beats my mother or my mother's fighting back and beats him up, and then you do that 6-7 times in a row. I start to get a little raw, because for me, it's not just acting anymore.
Right.
But so, you know, like I said, I have a really good team who helps take care of me and make sure that I stay sane.
Sheldon Elter joining CFWE. Sheldon, what do you hope people take away from Metis Mutt?
You know, I get asked this a lot. I think at its simplest, I just want people to feel that they can make positive change for themselves. That that they walk away not feeling sorry for me, because I would hate for that. I think they would really miss the point. But that to also understand that there's a reason why. Like I talk about so many things, like everything from intergenerational trauma to sexual abuse, drug abuse, family violence, all these things. People should, walk away from it, hopefully thinking that none of those things really matter, that ultimately, eventually, you have to take responsibility for yourself, and that's how you can start making positive change.
Oh, it's going to be a great show, eh?
Oh, wow. Anybody would be lucky to go and see that one.
That's right. Metis Mutt on now until March 4th in Edmonton. You can stop by theatrenetwork.ca to grab tickets. And if you want to learn more about Sheldon Elter's show, you can find the links at windspeaker.com.